You're the Florida version of Sex in the City, JD.
That's when I was smoking my cigars.
Never stop chasing your dreams.
And never say never.
Don't be an asshole today.
Hey.
You good?
Yeah, I'm good. How about you?
Yes, I am.
Me
And I'm so excited that that Anthony is in the waiting room. He's in the green room.
Me too.
So
Me
let's
too.
let people know. Anthony Hand has created, I swear, I just love this character. He has created Maxxie LaWow, who is a drag super hero, animated.
I took a look. I love Maxxie LaWow. I love the
Love
name.
Maxxie LaWow. So we've been trying to get Anthony, but this is a really crazy time. They're in like every film festival,
Wow.
independent film festival that's out right now. But we've locked him in, and he's ready to rock and roll. So let's let in Mr. Anthony Hand. Oh, look at that board! That's amazing.
Love that.
Your film is just at every independent film festival, every queer film festival there is. I don't even know how you have a minute to breathe.
Oh, well,
Oh,
uh, this month is kind of nutty as we also prepare the film for distribution and getting, all the deliverables you got to get together for that. So it's kind of nuts.
Oh
big.
God, we
Oh my
appreciate you
God.
taking out the time, Anthony. It's
Oh my
so
God.
lovely to finally get to meet you. And you know what really made me upset was that you were just in Fort Lauderdale.
Yes,
Oh,
in Miami last
Yes.
October.
Yeah, last
oh,
October, but
wow.
then Cinema Paradiso,
Oh
January
yeah, yeah, yeah.
26th. Oh my God, I just missed them.
Oh
Wow.
no.
Yes.
Yeah.
It, it's
So
a good busy to be, though, right? To have so much excitement going on about your project. That's so awesome.
it's really cool.
Very true. Very true. Yeah.
Anthony, I need to go back to the beginning. Like, you're the creator. You wrote, created, produced. Are you an animator, or like
Uh,
what made you go cartoon?
let's see. So I decided on animation because for a few reasons. One is because I'm just such a huge fan of animation, and I thought that this story would lend itself very well to animation. Plus, a big part of Max Luau is the wig, who is a character as well, and just imagining doing that all through CG, special effects, and then compositing it onto live action, I thought would be a nightmare. And
Oh,
especially for our first film, where I'm still very much learning the ropes. And then probably the third and perhaps more, well, third and fourth reasons. One reason also is just from a design perspective, we can stylize it. And so I was looking to make it kind of like a 90s, have kind of like a 90s vibe, maybe a little bit of Scooby-Doo in some ways too. Uh, but one great thing about animation is especially when it comes to telling stories that can be a little more challenging for live action, maybe touching certain political veins or social veins, I feel like animation is a little more accessible to a wider audience in some ways. And so I thought it would lend itself from that kind of a queer perspective. This film is really accessible to anyone who loves drag. So that includes our straight allies. And it also includes my mom, who loves Drag Race and also loves animation. So,
Yeah.
but I want it to be the kind of film that like queer kids can watch with their parents.
Yes.
How many queer themed films do we have like that? And the answer
yeah.
is not a lot.
None. Yeah, hardly any. So true. So
Yeah.
true. But I just like I love everything about it. I love like the color scheme. And you have amazing animators. I will say
Mhm.
that.
Do
I
yeah.
mean, amazing. Did you have to, because I remember this part of it. I just had some cartoons done a while ago, and it was like such a weird process to find an animator that you connect with that understands what you want to see
Mhm.
in the characters they're creating for you. It's
Yeah.
really it's really strange to like, have to say, oh, could we make it this color? Oh, could we make the eyes a little bit more? Like, did you find yourself
Yes.
that involved?
Oh my goodness, yes. So in San Francisco here, there's a nightclub cabaret owned by a local drag queen named Darcy Drollinger, and she's an iconic local performer. She's also San Francisco's first drag laureate. And so pardon me, I sent her an email and said, "Oh, Darcy, can you recommend a graphic designer? Because I wanted to get to the stage where we, came up with our look and feel and characters for especially these two, uh, Maxxie LaWow, our drag superhero, and Diabolical, our drag villain." And so she recommended Johnny Burgess, and this was in the fall of 2020, so still very deep in the early days of COVID. So
Oh,
we spent 6 months really exploring character designs, doing a lot of refinement, and ultimately landing with these designs. And I am so thrilled. But that was sort of step one. And step two was finding animation production partners, to your point, who could take that lead, those core character designs, and translate that into a view for the whole world of Maxi World, if you will, and all
right.
those other characters, primary and secondary, that show up in a film like this, all the background extras, even. So, and
Yeah,
and they knocked it out of the park. I mean, every single character looks just amazing.
it really, it's just great.
Totally.
And you wrote it? I don't want to like I'm so afraid of like you did
Right language.
yeah, you wrote it too.
So I actually came up with the original story, and it took a long time to do it. I came up with the original idea for Simon back in 2018, but it took until 2020 to come up with the villain story. And so, just for your viewers, maybe a quick summary of what the film's about. So,
Definitely.
Max LaWell tells the story of Simon, a shy young barista who finds a magic wig that turns him into the titular drag superhero, Maxxie LaWow.
Yeah.
And we
Love
have
it.
we
Love
have a drag villain as well. Her name is Diabolical, and Dinah's
Ah,
discovered that drag queen tears have magical anti-aging properties. So she's
oh,
been kidnapping queens and forcing them to watch the saddest movie ever made, a certain 1980s film taking place on some beaches,
oh,
to
oh,
drain them to drain them of their magical tears and launch a new cosmetics line. And now she's after Maxie.
oh my God.
oh,
Love it.
that's genius. There's
That
so
is
many
just like,
different levels,
oh
different
yeah, like
dynamics to this.
it's so all encompassing of
Yeah,
drag. Like that's just like
yes.
talk about a super
Dragon.
fan. I mean, I can't, I seriously cannot wait to see this. I really hope you guys get into BFI and come to London.
Oh, all right. After the break, I will tell you about a certain two festivals in the UK and Europe, that we cannot announce yet
Okay.
until the
Oh,
festival, but I'll tell
good.
you, and
Okay.
and we'll
Good.
meet up soon.
So just so I may get to see it over here.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Where
Good.
will it be? Will it be here in the US? Will it be available to see? Is
It's
it available
moving
now or?
around, isn't it? I'm looking at
So,
February 16th. You'll be at DCIFF, the DC
that's correct.
Independent Film Forum,
Uh,
Regency, or no, Regal Gallery Place, Sunday, February 16th. For our
mhm.
people that are watching now, you can go to Maxxie with two X's, maxxie.com/ticks. I love this because, like I said, you guys have been just, seriously, just, trolloping around the country at every
It's
single. I mean, I was going through your Instagram and I'm like, oh my God, I don't see one that they haven't been at. Like, it's fantastic. And tell me a little bit about how it's been received.
So I'm really glad to say that for the folks who are seeing it for the first time, it's been very well received. Uh, of course, I expect my close friends to love it. They better.
Yeah.
But for example, I had an interview with the reporter a few days ago, and he saw it twice. He watched it twice. I'm like, oh my God, I love that. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
And so press are, especially in the Bay Area, The
Yeah.
press are getting early access to it, so they can review the film. And I'm really, really glad to say that it's been called, I think, like a glittery like drag tornado or something. And you know, it's really wonderful quotes I'm going to start pulling out.
I honestly can't wait. It's so great.
True.
I think, JD, do you remember, God, I think maybe in our first year, maybe even
Mhm.
before we became the Rainbow Remix, we had
Yeah.
a girl on that was very much into um, comics, like superhero
Yes.
comics, right?
Yeah.
And
Yes.
it seems like so for a while now, we like it feels like the queers have been trying to dip their toes into
Mhm.
whether it's comic books, yeah, a superhero, something of that sort. And I mean, here we are. This is like a full-length movie,
Hmm. Hmm.
just I mean, I just look back at, all the especially the younger generations that are
Oh
so
yeah.
into, creating their queer superheroes. There was a couple Netflix shows,
Yeah.
that were Q Force. Like I couldn't believe that
Yeah.
was, but things like that we can just relate to and just wrap our arms around it because we've wanted it for so long. So
Yes.
Hmm.
your
Yeah.
timing is just it's like the pinnacle, that the timing is perfect. What a peak.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. I love the thing. I love the part about the drag tears, the drag queen tears being like the fountain of youth. I just think that's like genius. That is such a cool,
Fantastic. So
like, a facet to it. Like it's just so, and then forcing them to watch a sad movie. That's like, was that your concept for the story? Is that what you came up with? I mean, it's just, I just think it's awesome. I can't wait to see
fantastic.
that.
It's so
I was
Yeah.
great.
after COVID started, I was vacuuming the house one day with my pearls, of course, and came up with the story for Diabolical.
I mean,
And
the
it
part
was,
wig is cool enough, right? The magical wig, but then you
Yeah,
add that. I'm sorry, go
yeah.
ahead. I'm just gushing. It's just so cool.
yeah. Well, and with the wig, I decided on the wig because, I was trying to think of like what kind of a sort of plot device, from a story sort of perspective, is pretty ubiquitous among drag performers, and almost always there's like some amazing hair going on,
Yeah.
and so I thought, of course, the wig is going to be the magical thing, and
Yeah.
this wig bonds with Simon because the wig has its own secret backstory. So
Oh,
hopefully we can make a series. Hopefully this
Blair.
film does really well, and we can make a series after this and kind of explore all of these other
Oh
themes.
my God. You had mentioned distribution. So, making the festival rounds, is all well and good and exhausting.
Yeah,
And kind of like I have to with an indie project. But the
yeah,
ultimate goal then is for distribution, right? Like I mean, I look at like God, my cousin has been in LA for 30 years now and, doing projects and producing and trying and Sundance is always, the holy grail
Yeah, yeah,
of debuting something and hoping for
mm-hmm.
distribution. But indie is the same thing. I mean, like every festival is so important to get eyes on your
Yes,
project and get the word
yeah.
out. And like I just like I said, I just went through the Instagram feed and was just like, wow, like there's not I don't even know some of these, but I mean, to be in so many
yeah.
this whole year, basically, it has been just, it's got to have been a wild ride.
It sure has been, and we are so blessed to have this level of interest in festivals. Of course, we've been turned down by a number as well, and so I kind of wish that we had a few more. But we, so we're in the middle of this film festival run that I expect to last until the summer,
Yeah,
and then hopefully we will be uh, available widely. Probably not in theaters, except maybe as sort of special engagements
right.
starting this summer.
Oh, that'll be fantastic. Kind of coincides with Pride.
Yes, hopefully.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Like That's the ultimate. But again, making it across the pond would be fantastic. So, you know, hopefully we'll be tossing back a few loggers.
Is this a
Deal.
full
I will
length?
totally buy you a beer for sure.
Is it a full length movie? I don't know if I missed that, if you said that or not. It's a
Yeah,
full
about 90
movie.
minutes.
Fantastic.
Where's
I
it
should have sent
going?
you a screener. My apologies.
No, you know what I think of, like, we're all sitting on the couch watching Drag Race, and what you said about the wig, like all of a sudden my mind went right to when Michelle lectures somebody on having a bigger wig.
Yeah.
Like we've all felt it, we've all been there. Like we all
Hmm.
thought it, like, oh, I don't know, that's should have went bigger, should have went bigger. And then they get, the critique, and that's the first thing they say. So
Hmm.
I can totally see this wig being such a vital part of it, because it's true. The bigger, the
Love
better.
it.
The bigger, the more power.
The bigger the hair, the closer to Jesus or
That's it.
something.
That's it. So, what do you get to go to a lot of these film festivals? Have you been to the big ones? And
So, right now, just because of budget reasons, I am prioritizing going to any festival that accepts Maxi. And fortunately, it's been, from a timing perspective, it's worked out that I have been able to do so. So,
great. Oh, that's
yeah,
fantastic.
October was nuts because we had 4 festivals in over 4 weekends. So I was traveling, bam, 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 bam.
Oh man, wow. But the
Uh,
DC, the one coming up, DC, that timely, timely to be in DC right
oh,
now. Oh,
my goodness. How
yeah,
crazy everything that's happening in DC and how horrible this new administration is and it's just hateful, mean-spirited, all the words.
yeah, yeah.
I was going to ask you if that had any effect on your movie and places where you can show the movie, the fact that politically things have changed so quickly. Uh,
Oh, that's a good question.
Yeah,
I don't know. I think the most receptive film festivals have been LGBTQ and indie, like really seriously indie-oriented film festivals. And I think DC chose us. They had the reasons. I'm not aware of what the reasons are, but I wouldn't doubt that one of the reasons was because it's so family friendly and also the timeliness of its being LGBTQ themed.
yeah, yeah. I think so. I mean, that's fantastic though, because I feel like,
yeah.
the more they try and squash us, the more in your face we have to be.
Oh
Mhm.
my
And,
gosh.
you know,
Were
it's
y'all out in the 80s? Remember like how important it was to just be out and visible and activist back then and going to all the demonstrations? Oh my
all the
goodness.
work. I mean, I just think about all the work we put in just to
Yeah.
get marriage, to get to get
Yes.
marriage approved. And it's just, yeah, I hate seeing things go backwards. It just feels,
Hmm.
like defeating. But
Hmm.
I don't know. I got like a little spark of hope and energy today when I was scrolling my feed and I saw like 50 protests in 50 states. And
Yes. Across
yeah,
every state capital. Isn't that amazing?
yes, yeah. So I was like,
Wow.
oh, finally, because I kind of felt like, you know, Democrats were bringing like a pool noodle to a knife fight. You know what I mean? Like they just haven't
Reasonable
really
metaphor.
taken it up. So yeah, I think it was about time they
Interesting
showed some feist.
analogy.
Yeah, like
Uh,
show something. Like give, like you're asking for money. Like just show me you got a plan, or show me that you're working on something, because this feels dire. And I don't
Hmm.
even know a better word.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I think like a film like this brings back, even if it's 90 minutes in a theater, to have a big smile on your face, and and just something that's bringing joy, as
Joy.
yeah, like it's bringing back the joy. And I people need it right now. It's so important. So, I mean, this is, yeah, I think, timing, yes.
Oh
Oh,
Yes.
my gosh.
totally. And
Yeah.
there's so much, like I see so much potential, like when the film gets out there, when you get it like in a bigger audience, there could be, I mean, you probably already thought of all the merchandising stuff you can do, like dolls and
Oh my God! Look at
clothes
it.
and like so many cool things, makeup for kids, like just like
I
cool things,
yeah,
you
I
know?
looked at all of it. I went immediately to paper dolls. Like
Oh,
and
there you go, paper dolls.
how
Yeah.
fun were paper dolls when we were little? So I went immediately.
Nice.
Yes.
Yeah,
That's an awesome idea.
yeah. I
I
just
forgot about that
Stickers.
was in the list of things for sure. I totally forgot about that.
People love stickers.
oh
Yeah.
yeah, I loved it. I remember having them that went on the fridge like magnets that went on the fridge, and you could change the clothes on everybody. I don't, but
Yeah. Oh, that's
yeah, the
awesome.
Totally.
ideas are endless. I can't even. It's
Endless.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just got to be like
Possibilities.
manic being in that mode when it's time to get into that
Yeah.
mode. There's
Yeah.
so much to explore. You must have such a great team, Anthony. That you
Oh my
work.
goodness gracious.
Yeah,
Yeah, for sure. I have to say that, with this being an indie film, our budget was, you know, not as big as a studio, let's just
of
say.
course, right. Yep, we've all been there.
Uh, yeah. But I swear, every creative person who's been involved with this project, the animators, the graphic designers, and the songwriters, and our vocalists, and the actors, et cetera, et cetera. They all were paid fairly, fortunately, but also not big studio amounts. But
Right.
that being said, they all brought so much value to this film. I can't even begin to describe. Um, I mean, especially for a first-time filmmaker like myself, and then my animation production partners, Chubby Beagle, they have deep experience in television animation as animators, and they were able to find fantastic folks around the country. This is except for our Live Symphony Orchestra, which was overseas, but everything else is U.S. based,
Yeah.
creators, and it's just amazing for an animated film to be able to say it's a U.S. based production like this,
Yes.
but also that folks just really, really just turned up the creativity and made this beautiful film on a tight budget like this.
Yeah. I mean, I know so many people in the same boat. It's funny
Mhm.
because I think
Mhm.
your film was also a friend of mine made her and her partner made Under the Influencer, which
Oh, you know them.
yes, yeah,
Okay, awesome. I met
yeah.
them in Seattle at the Seattle Queer Film Festival last October,
Oh,
and they
that's
are
fantastic.
wonderful.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah. And
What a
they,
team.
yeah, right.
An
Like,
awesome team. Yeah. Yeah.
but I know the struggles of having, an indie film and the budget and that, pulling people in that are like literally working for sandwiches,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
I like that while doing it, they also created a production company, as you might know, that work on micro budgets and how to, grow that into the next project and the next project and the next
Hmm.
project.
Hmm.
And it was, such a unique concept, this little ecosystem that they're trying out. And, it always like it always like when it, was teetering on the brink of like, I can't do this, that's when it's like you find your superpower, if you will,
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
of like tapping into resources you didn't know you had, or an unexpected connection, and
Mhm.
somebody is there to lend a hand, or whatever it takes to get a project done. So I
Yeah.
Absolutely.
like I definitely get how difficult it is, but it has to be like a sigh of relief, like when you for when you start getting accepted into festivals and going,
Yeah.
Yeah.
seeing audiences respond to it, seeing it on a big screen instead of a little editing,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
what a feeling that must be.
Oh, for sure. And it is transformative.
Yeah,
The theatrical screening exhibitor business right now, all these theaters across America and around the world are struggling, and many are failing, especially independent ones. And it's such a shame. Seeing a film on your TV, even a big screen TV, is nice, but boy, it is really transformative seeing that same film and being immersed in a theater and
yeah,
having that communal experience with everyone else, laughing along, crying along. It's just, yeah.
Yeah.
Especially, when you work on it, as long as you have like to get it to that point where you finally see it on the big screen.
Yes.
And when Denise was talking about having a good team of people, like I think it's got to be so important to have a great team for the times when things aren't working out and you hit those
Mm,
walls where people are
mm,
saying no, or something didn't work out and now it's going to cost the double the amount than you thought
mm,
because something, like, to lift each other up and to have like I'm a musician and I never have had that luxury or whatever, that camaraderie with people in what I do. It's always been me. And then I just hire people to back me up in the band.
mm.
So when things aren't working out, it's on me. They're like a hired. And how nice it must be to have a team that people you collaborated and now, you have the moment where it's on the big screen and who lifted each other up at the times when things weren't going right
Yeah.
was also
Oh,
so important than the celebrations when they do go
Right.
right.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's so got to be great to
so
have that.
important. You well said. Yes, for sure.
Critical. And
Yeah,
the fact that you,
totally.
like you said, like US based, because I also have a cousin that worked in animation. She's a little bit older than me, so when I was growing up, like I just idolized her because she could draw, and she
Mm.
like as soon as she went to college in New York, and then started getting all these great gigs, moved to LA. She was working for Steven Spielberg, like
Oh,
animatronics, was that his little, he was doing animatronics. I think they were cartoons. So
oh
she
yeah.
would
Wow.
always look for her name in the credits. But that's the thing I think that strikes me is when you, especially with an animated project, when those credits roll and you see all the people involved,
Right.
like the
Yeah.
background animators, and
Yeah.
the voice, it's so layered. And
Yeah.
I just, until, I had like grown up, I just didn't realize that that's what it took. And then when I
Yeah.
started doing like our little cartoons that we were making with a friend of mine, um, and like, so our animator was the one that created the characters based on pictures that I was sending him and conversations that I was having with him, and videos that I was sending him. And he created, these two little characters, and they were so good. And I thought that was the end of it. And then
Mhm.
my friend was like, no, now we get to the rigging stage. Like the what? Like what?
Yes.
I know
Yes.
nothing of this. And like I was just blown away by what it takes. Like I just
Oh
feel
my
like
God. Yeah.
unless you're in that industry, you just have no concept of how much work it really is, second by second, you know.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
for you to have singing in it, like big productions, you know.
And choreography.
Yes, yes. That's what I mean. Like, oh my God, the patience. Holy
Uh,
moly. Wow.
How
so
did
there's
it feel? I'm sorry. I was gonna say,
no,
how
I'm
did
sorry.
it feel when these characters, when you see them come to life on the screen or on even on the little screen? Like that must be so cool, right? To see that
Yes.
happening.
Oh my goodness gracious. Let me tell you. So I wrote the story in like let's say 10 pages with bullet points, and so that would be the street the treatment. And that drag queen I mentioned earlier, who owns Darcy Drollinger, who owns the Oasis, she connected me with the scriptwriter Michael Phillis, who himself is an actor, director, writer, and occasional drag queen. And so when I saw him, the first draft of the script he wrote during those early days of COVID was so good. And I can tell you, I was like in tears at how cool it was to see a story that I'd written turned into a professionally written script. And
Mhm.
then to your point, like every step of the way when we went to storyboards and had the storyboards from end to end, not just a scene, and then the next early stage of animation and then choreography. And I mean, oh my goodness gracious, it's been an incredible journey and just full of joy. Not a lot of tears other than those happy ones.
Right. Great.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
smooth.
Yeah.
Smooth sailing. That now, do you think like your next big project, would you do animation again, or would you be like, okay, I'm gonna try live action this time, you know?
Oh my goodness gracious. This has been 5 years in the making. And for a first film, many films take like seven, for
Yeah,
example, even live action ones. So it's been a long time. And uh, like my next project with Maxxie, I would definitely like to see a series done, find a production partner for that.
yeah.
When it comes to like, but if we can't, then yeah, I would absolutely love to revisit this character and do another animated film. In the meantime, one of the things that I've been doing is networking with the filmmaking community here especially here in the San Francisco Bay Area, but also beyond, and looking for opportunities to either lend a hand or make a donation to help those projects come to life as well. So, for example, there was a certain short starring about a character who's a drag queen, Private Eye, and I love that short. It's so fun. I was able to connect with the creators just a week ago and talk about like what can I do to support you,
Yeah.
And so one of the creators is moving to San Francisco. We're getting together. I'm going to
Oh,
introduce
cool.
them to people and see what I can do to help make this happen.
Oh,
Wow.
Um,
fantastic.
yeah, absolutely. And so yeah, I mean, I still have to have a day job to make the rent and everything, but
Of course.
I am super keen to now see what I can do to help make other queer stories, help bring other queer stories, especially those about drag queens and trans folks, bring them to
Oh,
life.
yeah,
Yeah.
at the forefront, exactly. I mean, there's so many eyes, on especially like with the Oscars coming in, Amelia Perez,
Hmm.
Yeah.
you know.
Oh,
Yeah.
I mean, it was just like such after the Golden Globes, it was all anybody could talk about. And now yeah, there's a little bit of controversy there, and
Hmm.
things are maybe heading south, but the fact that we had the world's attention, focused
hmm.
on trans awareness, just awareness.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
Hmm.
incredible. Like
Yeah,
that's
you're right.
it's like now is the time that if you thought if you thought support was important like 2 months ago, it's even more important now. I mean, it's at that point now where it's like I said, we just have to get eyes on projects like this and get the word
Hmm.
out.
Hmm.
There's
Absolutely.
It's crazy. It's just absolutely crazy, especially and drag queens. I mean, Jesus Christ, how do you not like a drag queen?
I know.
I don't understand. I just don't get it. It's just all entertainment. It's always entertainment,
And
I
it's the theater, basically.
yeah.
Like
Yeah.
live performance art is how one way I look at drag too.
Yes. I mean, it's just incredible. Like, God, what I wouldn't give to see, Jinx Monsoon and Ben De La Creme doing their Christmas special for a year. It's only 2 dates in London, and I can never get tickets.
And
Never.
it's a really good show, by the way.
I know. My friend sees them in St. Pete all the time in Orlando. And I'm like, man, just a couple more dates here, I mean, if they're pulling up that fast, come on, give everybody a shot. Oh, but I mean,
And we
we live by it. We live by our Wow Productions app,
Oh,
and watching all the, every drag queen show there is. Like my wife and I just like Sunday morning coffee and drag queens. That's our
oh, I love
I hope they
it.
license Maxi to show on WoW Presents Plus. That would be awesome, wouldn't it?
fantastic. Oh my God, that
I,
would be so good.
I'd like to circle back for a second. I have to ask, how do you choreograph cartoon characters? Like, how does that happen?
That is a really good question. All right. So one thing we did was I asked, all right, so this was done, we did almost all the voices in the fall of 2021, so still very COVID. Um, and it was me here in San Jose, California, near San Francisco, my voiceover director, who's amazing, JP Karliak, who also did our casting in near LA. And then we had actors come into sound studios in LA, Portland, or New York City, Portland, Oregon. And so it was like this crazy Zoom thing, but it worked out really well. And because it's Zoom, I asked the folks if we could record those sessions so that in case there was some body language that the actors brought to it, then we could also use that to inspire just the regular body movements during the film. So all the animators had access to those videos. And then when it came to the lip sync numbers, we were really targeting about 90 seconds to a minute. Like for each of the songs, we have 3 lip sync numbers in the film. One with the hero, one with the villain, and then one like lip sync duel at the end.
Oh,
And the animators did kind of like some throwaway choreography for those. And then in the summer of 2022, we recorded those songs with the Grammy-nominated vocalist Angie Fisher, who knocked it out of the park. The music is incredible. It just sticks with you. I can't wait to release the soundtrack, probably in
oh,
advance of the movie, hopefully in Q2 sometime.
excellent.
And um, then so then I worked with Rory Davis, a local choreographer who has a group called Bologna in San Francisco. They're like burlesque meets modern dance. It's so much fun and really sexy.
Oh, cool.
And so I worked with him for a few days to do choreography for these 4 songs. And then so we went back another, it cost a little bit extra to do this because we had to redo the choreography and everything because we had to throw away the throwaway choreography.
Oh,
But
wow.
you know what? It turned out so good, and our animators had a lot of great ideas of their own, so we were able to mix those together and create something special and fun. And I can't wait to show you those scenes. Maybe I'll send you a private link to look at a couple of them.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, perks of the job. Yeah.
No. Yeah.
So those, oh my gosh, those lip sync numbers, the extra animation to do those came in like last.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it took a lot of time for that,
Yeah,
but
that's
it
what
turned out
it
great.
feels like. It feels like independent filmmaking is flying by the seat of your pants, no
Hmm.
parachute, and
Hmm.
no landing spot. You know,
Yeah,
Hmm.
right.
trying to stay up until you can successfully land. It's
Yeah.
harrowing, I mean, it really is.
Yes.
And,
So
and
true.
all this while you have a day job.
Hmm.
Yeah. Good point.
I mean,
Right.
unbelievable,
So,
unbelievable.
yeah, my role is creator, director, producer. So I was able to take the pieces that other folks were doing, collaborate with them on it, or offer some, like, this is kind of vision that we're working for and kind of some refinement and tuning along the way. And this was one reason why I feel so blessed in working with these folks because everyone brought so much. Like the animation team, because they had so much experience in TV production already, they knew how to direct, and they were there like 80 to 95% of the time the first time, which cut down our costs a lot and just made for a better product. I mean, when you see the body language of these characters, even, it's just, they're so thoughtful. They're like so many little details they got right. It's just fantastic.
That's the
Wow.
stuff, like, I think if you are aware, of that industry, that people look for, and then, but as a viewer, not knowing anything,
Mm,
what we appreciate,
hmm.
I mean, that's the kind of stuff that we're, especially in something like this, where
Hmm.
Yeah.
everybody knows those, stereotypical movements and all that. We're going to be looking for them. So, like, well
Yeah.
Yeah.
done. Well done for looking out for the details. Yeah, exactly. Oh,
So you're doing, so you have the day job, so you're doing this film and you have people all over the place working on it. Like, do you have time for a personal life in all of this? Like, what happens to
Not
like
this month.
family, I go to that because I've got this big Italian family and someone's always pulling, needing or whatever. Like you just have to say, I'm I'm working on this project and like I'm not going to be having a social life or anything for a while, right? Like you need to just
Yeah.
focus on on that, I would imagine. It's been so long since I've been in a project where I needed to do that. I want to jump back into that because
Yeah.
it's
Well, that's a
awesome to wake
trade-off.
up every day, right? And be working on something like this that you're
Yeah.
and creative. Your creativity is at the height of working on what you love to do.
Yeah, exactly. And this is the trade-off we make when we pursue side projects, creative projects, and we're so passionate about getting them off the ground and
Yeah.
seeing them reach fruition and being able to share that art or that business idea, whatever the case is with the world. It's something you just do, and it's worth it, honestly, I think in the end.
Oh yeah,
For sure.
sure,
Yeah,
sure.
it is. And I mean, if you have a supportive partner, that's
Mhm.
understanding or whatever, like that's, also a bonus. And if you don't, then you got the free time to devote to it. So
Right.
it's pretty good
My
too.
cat Bailey's been pretty supportive.
It's so
Cat, much
She
better
still
than
gets
a
her tuna
dog.
treats.
Dog might not understand as well, but yeah, like have to
I-
start being able to say no to parties and no to dinners and no to let's go see this play or whatever that, because you can't, right? You just have to
Yeah.
focus on what you're doing and
yeah, you
yeah,
can't do both.
Yeah.
it's a
But
I'm
trade-off.
overdue on vacations and going back to see my family in Michigan, for example. But yeah, I told them this year, because now that Maxie's coming out this summer, I'll have
right.
time to come back and visit again.
It's fantastic, but they must be so proud, I mean, yeah, I can't
Very
imagine.
true.
Yeah, that's so good.
They've been wonderful.
Will they be able to see it like at a festival or like in a theater or have they?
We just got accepted to a film festival in Michigan, and I can't
Oh.
announce it yet, but I told Mom about it, of course. I'm like, Ma, it's not like the town next door, for example. But I'm like,
Right.
we'll have to get some folks together on a road trip, and I'm going to be spending the night. So, we'll have a
Oh,
hotel night up in that city.
Oh, that'll be fun.
even
That's
more
great.
fun. Yeah.
I love that this is like you said, like a family could go see this. You know,
Hmm.
Yeah.
a rare gem in these, times to it's all encompassing, right? I mean, good
Hmm.
versus evil in a fun way, in a funny way, and something you can do with your family, but that's also a teaching moment, if you will. Like so we need more of those. We're gonna need more of
Yeah,
those moving forward. Um,
yeah.
like thank God for people, like you that had the foresight to know that this would hit, that it would hit. Not only it's something you love, but that's hitting with audiences. So yeah, it's just great. God, Anthony, I wish you all the best with this. I honestly
Totally.
cannot wait um for the summer when I feel like everything will be peaking and it'll be just incredible for you. Like I said, culminating with Pride Fests and everything else going on. It's
True. True. Yeah.
crazy. So yeah,
That's
we
right.
wish you all kinds of success with it.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And I who knows what's in the future for Maxie. I really hope a series, of course, as mentioned, but
Yeah,
we could also do comic books or we could do a stage musical or something. So
of
I just
course.
think it's a really accessible kind of character, and there are so many fun stories to be told in this magical world of Maxie LaWow.
Oh,
Oh, oh,
I'm
I love
I'm so looking forward to it. I really am. Keep us posted. Let us know when something might be in our area, if you will.
Yeah, please do. I'm loving the hair. I'm
I
looking at
know.
the swoopy wig. I
So
Isn't that fun? Like an Elvis style
love
pompadour,
that.
but
Yeah,
bigger, of course,
love it.
because it's drag.
it's magic. It's magic. I recommend anybody go to the Maxi LaWow Instagram page and just have yourself a blast looking at all the pictures and poses and posters and all the dates you've been at, but also to keep up with where you're going to be next. Like I said, so people know February 16th is in the DC area at Regal Park. So it's so it feels so accessible. you know I feel every time I look at your, oh, there's another date, there's another state. So I mean, honestly, go to the Instagram page. All our people will have a look at the Instagram page and plan it. It feels like a fun evening to go see this movie.
Does.
I'm
Yeah.
recommending that people wear something sparkly and fun, bring friends, because drag should be fun. It's about joy and expression and and good times with people you love and care about. So I think.
Definitely. It's
I
fun.
can't
Like
wait.
we need fun right now more than anything.
Yes.
Right? God, so I feel like so tense every day. But yeah, this is the kind of thing that will, you know, you get to take your mind off it for 90 minutes and have a good time. So yeah, I highly recommend doing it. And I will do it. If you hop over the pond, I will definitely come.
Yeah, if you come back to Fort Lauderdale or Miami, let me know because that's where I am. I'm here, so
Did you
but
have
I'm
fun at Outfest? That was with Marky Gilbert, Marky G.
Yes. So it was my first time in Miami,
Oh
and I'd
wow.
never been to Miami or South Beach before. So it was a
Man.
chance to, get more familiar with that town anyways, and which has a huge gay population.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and then with Fort Lauderdale just a few miles down the road.
Yeah. Yeah.
And yeah, I was thrilled that they asked if they could screen Maxie for the My Hollywood Pride. I'm like, oh my gosh, yes, have fun.
Oh yeah. Yeah, definitely. It's a good
yeah.
time. There's so much going on down there. That's a hot spot right now. For
Yeah,
sure.
and the Outshine folks are so nice. All the Queer Film Festival folks that I've met, they
Yeah.
are doing God's work, I swear to God, bringing fantastic films, comedies, dramas, everything in between, to communities around the country. And as we mentioned before, sometimes that will be the only opportunity you might have to see these films in a theater.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
And it's, I know that like especially like Miami, I think they were most film festivals, are scaling back a little bit.
hmm hmm
Obviously, budgets, political, whatever the
hmm
atmosphere, all that. But there's ways that if you can't make it, like you can buy tickets and you can view a lot of the stuff online. So I
hmm
think that's
hmm
great for
Oh,
people
yeah,
that
yeah.
can't get out, that might not be able to make it.
hmm
They want to support their friend or they've heard great things about this. Like I
hmm
love doing that for short films. Like
hmm
that's just,
hmm
Mhm.
sometimes it's a little chilly to be going out for a 20-minute film, watch it at home with my little fireplace on in the background, but you're still supporting.
Cat.
Yeah, absolutely. Many of the festivals nowadays will have a time limited online screening, sort
Yeah,
of parallel festival,
yes,
where most of the films will be available for streaming as well. So we're doing that this weekend, starting this weekend for Maxi in the Bay Area. I'm not sure what the geolocation restrictions are, probably
right.
just California. Um,
Yeah,
yeah, so it kind of varies by festival, but many of them are doing that now, and it's a great way if you can't make it to see something you really want to see,
yeah,
as you mentioned, to see it at home. Like
yeah,
especially some of these like blocks, like the women's block, or like a drag block or whatever. These are common kinds of themes in these
yeah.
festivals.
Oh yeah, it's
Wait.
fantastic. Well, listen, we know you have a busy schedule, so we're not going to keep you, but I just want to say thank you for taking time out.
Yes,
I said, I know you work during the day, so thank you
thank
so much for taking time out and telling us a little bit more and sharing Maxie with us.
what a treat. What a treat.
Yeah,
Thank you.
This has been so much fun. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And visit maxi.com, maxxie.com for more information about screenings near you.
I'm
excellent.
going there.
Thank you, Anthony. We
So much.
appreciate it.
Hey,
Take care.